Meeting to order. All rise for the pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing. Roll call. Tony Toscanelli. Aye, sir. Kathy Gilmore.
Tony, what?
He didn't say anything.
Pascanelli?
Close enough.
Close enough?
Jody Noble is sick. Lee Rogers is here. Bob is here. We have one vacancy.
I was gonna say, who's Steve?
It's a vacancy. And Jerry Zwicky is here. First thing we want to do is approve the minutes of January 24th. Has everybody had a chance to read through the minutes yet? There is a change to the minutes. In number 1, we had approval of minutes of 1:10:17. Actually, there were 6 yeses and 1 abstention. Just write it in. Just write it in the top.
There was?
Yeah, Kathy abstained because she didn't have a chance to see
Oh, can you give me
the
one of those? Sorry. The minutes.
No, it's all right there. Keep going.
Oh, is this
There.
Oh, okay, thanks, sorry. Got it.
Okay, so that little change is the only change that I've seen.
Sorry, don't.
Anybody want to make a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion. Tony
Do I have to
said it
fight
first.
over you?
Yeah, but Tony said it first.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Nope. Okay, roll call vote. Tony, how do you vote?
Aye.
Kathy?
Yes.
Jody's a no. I'm an aye. Bob? Vacancy. Jerry? She says her minutes are perfect. Motion passed. On the new business, Range Resources is not here tonight. They've already taken action. We have nothing to do, and we don't have anything further to do with the Range Resources project.
Did we already review it before?
Not the range, not the tank farm. We did the compression station, but I don't think the tank farm was in here before, was it? But Dave and Mike have already looked into it, and it's already taken care of.
Yeah, it's my understanding that they will be at the supervisors meeting next 2 weeks from now, next week. And we'll give a presentation on,
I just have a question.
yeah,
Does the tank farm have to be TWIC certified? Do all the workers have to be TWIC certified?
I'm not familiar with that. I didn't-
The only reason I ask is because we work in a tank farm and we have to have a certified personnel with a TWIC card.
Okay.
I just-
That's a question we could send to them. I know they're gonna be here, representatives will be here at the supervisors meeting. The one permit that they did have to get was the driveway excavating permit, and they did already comply with that. I guess that, I assume that was reviewed by the engineers or whatnot, but I was told that that was good. And they'll be here at the supervisors meeting to give an update on what the plan is, all of that there. But your question, regarding TWIC, I do not know that.
Yeah.
I can shoot that to Alexis so that they can have an answer for you.
I just didn't know because we currently work in a tank farm and they have to have DEP, EPA, SPE, you know, the spec and also TWIC.
Okay,
I just was curious.
is that TWIC?
TW, is that what your card, is that what your card says?
TWIC,
TWIC?
Transit Worker Identification Card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just put no further action
Well,
required.
I had a question.
Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead, Judy.
You had said they were on the agenda to present something, you said action's already been taken, you don't have to do anything further, what action?
Actually, Alex was supposed to be here, she's not here at all, and like Mike just went over it, there's nothing for us at this level to take action on.
Again, my understanding is there was again, I'm not 100% familiar with all this. I asked about this. My understanding is that there was a highway permit that's already been reviewed and issued, and that they're gonna give a presentation, a notice presentation on what their plans are up there. That this was all prior to this ordinance coming into place, before the advertisement happened, so they are not held to this ordinance, similar to how, was it Columbia last time? You know, but Columbia was a saldo, was a subdivision land development, so a portion of theirs did have to come, because that's already been in place, the township has saldo already in place. But they've agreed to come to the hearing on, or the meeting on next Wednesday, and to give a presentation and answer questions and let everyone know what the plans are up there. That's my understanding of it.
I do have a question about that, because according to our own subdivision and land use ordinance, anything that is done on the land comes to us first.
Okay, I'm not sure. I was told that,
That's
yeah,
why
I
I'm
was told,
confused,
I
because
don't know.
half the things come and then half the things don't. How is that determined?
I don't know, I did not see the permit that came through, I was told it was.
Well, it's not even about the permit, it's just about what
How
our
it's supposed
ordinance
to take
says.
place, yeah.
I don't know.
How do we find that out?
I guess we'd have to see what they filed and what they filed.
No, I'm just saying, it's not just them, but I'm saying, according to our own ordinances, it says that everything that is done on the land in Donegal Township comes to the planning commission first.
We'd have to look
It
in the
has nothing to
Donegal
do with
Code,
permitting.
yeah, we'd have to look in Donegal Code, chapter 75, and see what it says. As far as, I agree with you.
I'm not that familiar with that, with what they're doing up there, so I can't fully speak to that. When I saw it
Well,
was
they're
on the
gonna be on the
agenda.
land, right?
They're not floating. I assume they're
It's a
not
pretty
floating.
simple
I didn't-
definition,
yeah, I
Michael.
didn't see what they're, again, I don't know what they, I do not know what they filed. My understanding was that this was in the works, and that it was prior to having to come through a zoning conditional
Yeah,
use.
this
I
has
understand
nothing to do
that,
with
but yeah, as far as what they should come in front of you for, I do not know exactly what all has been filed. Our office does not review, you know, we do not
Right.
receive that, so I
Yeah,
don't,
and that
I
wasn't
can't speak.
specifically asking, I'm just discussing in general,
Yeah.
because it's my
Yeah.
understanding, from reading this numerous times, that that was what we have been told, and that's why other people are coming, and now all of a sudden, you know, they don't have to come to the, they're just gonna skip it. And
Yeah, I can't, I do not know.
does anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I think it's something we need to look into.
I can speak that moving, again, not to that one, and I understand that's what your question is in general. Moving forward, if they were to come in now, they would have to go under, assuming that's a conditional use, you know, assuming we go with what we have right now, they would have to be a conditional use, they would come in front of the planning commission as part of that.
Right here it says all land development.
Yeah. So I don't know who reviewed that and said they did not have to.
Oh, okay.
I don't
So
know, I
someone-
don't know what they, I did not.
They've already developed.
Because
There's
because a
equipment
tank-
up there and.
Because a tank farm's
Well-
a pretty serious thing.
Oh, I completely agree. And I don't know what was submitted and what was reviewed, if that was by the engineers, or, I don't know that.
I'm just saying, it's so confusing as to what the actual role of the planning commission
Yeah.
is, because half the time things come and half the time they get passed, so.
Mhm.
Then we'll just put down, there's no further action required.
As far, I mean, they might have to come back and come through, I don't know. But as far as I know, there's nothing in front of the planning commission tonight.
That moves us on to the,
All their stuff's sitting right in there, we actually wanted to
So we
look
can-
at it.
yeah.
if this, when we found out that Alex wasn't gonna be here tonight, so there was no presentation from Range.
Well, it's sitting right there, if
Yeah.
we wanna look at it.
So wasn't all the stuff in there that we looked at? They
Yeah.
were strictly asking for a driveway permit. That's
Yeah.
all they were asking for. All that stuff.
Yeah.
All they wanted
When
was a
did you look at
driveway.
it?
We can
Before I went on
review it.
vacation, after Lee
16.
sent the message telling us, asking us to come in and look at it.
Oh, I didn't get that one. I didn't even know it existed.
So
We looked at Bob.
so did the board, again, I apologize, I was told that was already approved. If you're saying you did not approve
I
it,
didn't even know it existed until just now.
okay, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, does anybody know this? I don't think there's anything in that notebook that tells us. that.
Well,
Well,
there's
if
the
it
staff
has to
back
go,
there
okay,
about
so
3
here's what
feet.
we'll do. If it has to go through the planning commission, and it did not go through the planning commission to get approval, they're just gonna have to come back, they lose out, they're gonna have to come back. If that highway driveway permit has to go through the planning commission, again, this is only my
Yeah.
third meeting here, I don't know what the process, what you guys do
If you look at
here.
our annual report from this year, we actually approved the highway occupancy permit for somebody, or reviewed one and signed it for, that
That's right, we have.
Verizon, Risk Horizon or whatever it was. So, yeah, there are some bases on here.
Okay. So then I think what we'll need to tell them is they need to, well, we'll double check, obviously. And if it was not approved properly, then they need to come through and get the
Well,
proper
it wasn't
approvals.
ever at a meeting. So I would consider it improper.
Yeah, okay. But I don't know if that, if it is, yeah, so you're saying it wasn't in a meeting in 2016 either? That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
no.
I don't know,
The tank farm, no.
no, the highway permit.
Oh, no, the one we had was for, I think it was Horizon.
Yeah.
That's the only one I saw when I went through all the names.
The Risk Horizon 513.
Yeah, on 5-3, reviewed the HOP plan for Risk Horizon, so that's the only one I noticed.
Okay. So we'll have to check on that. They could still give their presentation, but that doesn't mean that they have their permit if they didn't get the proper permit. They can still come and let her know their time frame and everything, but we'll have to check on that.
Hey, Michael,
Yep.
you said you understood it was already approved.
My understanding was that there was the highway occupancy permit or the driveway permit, I don't know what it's called, it's not highway occupancy, that's the state. But the driveway permit was the only thing that they needed a permit for, along with the updated road bonding. I talked to them about the road bonding, did not talk to them about the driveway permit. I was told that that was already approved.
By.
We don't know.
I
That's
don't
it.
know.
Okay.
I don't review those, I don't know that. So if I'm
They
misspeaking.
told you
And
that,
it could,
is what
I
you're
could be, that was the way I took it. I could be misspeaking, but that was my understanding, that that was the thing that they put in an application for and got approval for that, as well as having to update their road bond and maintenance agreement, for additional roads to be traveled. That does not require, as far as I know, the road bonding does not require coming through the planning commission. That's just updating that, getting the proper bonding done. That's what we reviewed. As far as that goes, there's some question about escrows and went back to when Ed Stout was here. That's what we reviewed. As far as the permit, the driveway permit, I was under the assumption that it was already passed. So I can't, that's all I can tell you.
Thank you.
Yep.
So what we need to do is tell them they need to come back, make a presentation, and bring the driveway permit.
Yeah, I mean, if they haven't gotten the proper approvals for the driveway permit, they do, yes.
Okay?
Has the planning commission always done driveway permits?
Anything to do with planning, you said,
Well, I'm just saying, through the 90s and early
Well-
2000s, a driveway permit, the road department went out and checked it and told them what they had to do, and the supervisors.
Right, that's, I don't even care about that. My issue is that the entire project has not been brought here at all and is on the land.
yeah? I see what she's saying.
Yeah.
That was happening. The planning commission.
I'm not even
Well,
talking
when we
about-
talked to about Alexis, she says all they were asking for at that time was a driveway
It doesn't
permit,
matter.
But there was stacks of
Yeah,
stuff.
because that's
No,
what the
yeah, it's
plans
all
for
the
development.
EPA stuff.
Well, now, she
and
did
everything.
tell us, do you have your notes there? They don't
So
have to
she
do
came and gave a
EPA.
presentation?
Huh?
Did she give the presentation?
She gave a presentation here?
No,
No,
she
no,
didn't give a
no. We
presentation.
had
We talked
questions
to her
on what
the
we
phone.
were looking at, because it was so confusing. And we, on Columbia, we saw all the reports
Right.
from EPA and
Right.
what were those other organizations?
God,
So we
it's
called
just
her,
stacked like
where's
this.
all this stuff at that you're supposed to be presenting? Because nothing was there. And she said, because it's under 5 acres, they don't have to comply with EPA, and what were the other ones that she said, because it's under 5
I don't
acres?
have
Well, that's all
They
fine,
don't
but she
have
should have
to
been here
do it.
tonight to tell us all of this.
Well, yeah, we thought she was going to be here.
Yeah,
When did
So
she,
that's the point, she's coming back.
when did she do, what meeting was this?
that wasn't a meeting.
Oh, when did
We
she?
just made a
do-
phone call to ask them some questions. Just Kathy and I, when we were reviewing the plan.
But they obviously had to bring the project in somewhere, and somebody got notice of it. and
Well, yeah, they
obviously-
brought
It's
the
in the back
project
room.
in.
It's sitting back. We
Tammy
can bring it
called me
out
and
if
said the
anybody wants to
project is
see it.
here for review. And Kathy and I came down and reviewed it. We had questions, we called Alexis and talked to her. And it was assumed she was gonna be here tonight, and when we got here tonight, we found out they weren't going to be here. So,
Michael, wouldn't the proper procedure for that be to present that at a planning commission meeting? I mean,
that's what
You know what I mean?
Jerry's talking about.
that's what,
Again, like I said, this is only the second one I've been to. Every place does it a little differently. Some are more involved. That's a perfectly good question. Would make sense. Does that necessarily mean what they did was illegal? I'm not saying that's the case.
No.
I'm just saying
I'm
that,
not implying that
Yeah.
either. All I'm
Yeah.
saying is according to our ordinance, everything that happens on the land is supposed to, we're trying to get to more doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
That's according to our own ordinance.
Do you have anything to add to that, Dave? Okay, we settled with that?
For now, I think there's no action to take right now because there's nothing in front of the board.
Right.
If there needs to be something in front of the board, then you can take action at the appropriate time.
Right. That moves us on to the Columbia, what is that? Gibraltar, I don't know why I can't get Gibraltar out of that compression station. And again, same process. There's nothing there to look over, they just simply, what happened was they just brought in more information and they stacked that up with it and it was confused because we thought we had to go through that and we don't have to go through that again.
No, but yeah, my understanding is that it was some of the grading, excavation and grading permit approvals that they needed to get from the county and from the state, and those came in, so they were just supplementing the record. So there was, I spoke with Max Yunker, who was here last month's meeting, or the meeting before, and, you know, went through the process, got the approval at the board of supervisors. It was subject to complying with all the state-related permits that you need, and they, looking at what was submitted, it looks like they were just giving the township the record, the permits that they finally received from the different entities that they needed to receive them from.
At this point, we're interjecting something here. Mike Anderson is here tonight. Mike, you wanna come on up here and tell us what you need to do?
Yeah, I was looking to build just a detached two-car garage on my property. I live on Tunnel Street. The front of the garage is gonna be 38 feet from the center of the road. The size of the structure is gonna be 26 foot by 28 foot, just a basic family garage with 2 overhead garage doors. And I called today just to find out how far off the road I needed to be. It'll be the same grade as the road. And I have the application and everything. The only thing I don't have filled out is I still have to, I'm getting bids from a couple contractors, but before I got started, I wanted to find out how far off the road I needed to be.
Okay, do you have a site plan yet?
No.
Okay.
Can I see your application?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, all I pretty much put was like my
That's all. Your
name and
address.
everything on it. Because the main part, he needs the contractor, and then you have to get, notarized that they have the insurances and everything.
Thank you.
All right.
So you're asking for a variance then on the setback, right?
Well, I don't know if I need a variance if it's 38 feet. I thought it was 30, but the person I talked to on the phone said it might be 50, so.
Yeah, this says the right-of-way is 50 foot wide or
Okay.
less. The minimum setback shall be 50 foot except when the lot level is below the main street grade and setback line be a minimum of 35 feet.
Okay.
Anybody explain that?
Is that from the edge of the right of way or from the center of the road? Is it two different
Dave, are
things?
you familiar with this, with setbacks?
I think the right of way is the entire width.
The entire width?
When you say 50-foot right of way, it's, some places it's not 25 feet from center of the road, depends on the maps.
This doesn't mention center, measured from the center of the road, or it's measured from the edge of the road.
I believe it states ultimate right of way, is that the term that they use?
Setback, let me see, it doesn't say anything about it. Okay, the following minimum setback measured from the ultimate right-of-way of the street shall apply. Ultimate right-of-way of the street. What is the ultimate right-of-way of the street?
Total right of way.
Yeah, they're basically saying it has to go from the edge of the right of way. And I know from past experience, all the roads in Donegal have different right of way,
So it has to be from the edge of the road,
edge of the right of way.
not from the center, which is what the taxes is.
Right now, my house is, I measured from the center of the road to the front of my house, and it's 38 feet. And there's other houses that are closer to the road. Mine actually sits back.
And then your garage is gonna be level?
My garage would
even
be
with
the
front?
same with the house if
Even
I
with the
could. I
front
mean,
house.
if I had to make it back further, I would.
Darren, you listening to me saying?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He's saying that his garage, the face of his garage will be even with the front of his
Right.
house. So,
So his house is where it is. So it has to be there.
yeah,
I mean,
Well, unless-
not, yeah, I mean, that could be, it could be a non-conforming use house. Again, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, just because it's even with that,
Do you have a
the
picture
house
of the
might
front of your
not
house?
have been
No.
properly set back in the first place. The zoning could have changed. I don't know.
so we can give him variance. and just do the
Yeah, that might
site
have to be the
plan.
case, yeah.
Lee, the standard township right-of-way width is 16.5 feet, either side of center line. There may be some exceptions, but that's the standard township right-of-way.
Right.
So whatever the setback is from center line plus 16.5 feet. And unless Tunnel Street is an exception to that.
I don't know. I got any idea how we should.
But, I mean, he's gonna have to submit all that, because again, different streets are different sides, so I mean, there's a plan that would show what the right of way is of that, there's a recorded plan, so you're gonna have to look that up and submit that, or the township might have that record, I don't know, but as they said, some are 50, some are 33, that's gonna depend,
Okay.
so that's gonna have to be on your plan when you submit it.
We should have a list of all the roads and what the
Yeah.
right widths are.
Yeah,
It
exactly,
might be
yeah.
good to have.
The road department ought to have that.
Yeah.
So then I need to contact the Donegal Road Department then?
That's who has that.
Yeah.
They should be
Yeah.
able to tell you what the right-of-way is on what was different than.
And just get old Tammy and have it.
I gotcha. I just want to kind of interject that when you get on your website and you pull up a permit, maybe behoove someone to put a little effort into it, because I had no idea you have to come in from a planning commission. Every street's a different right of way. I just simply wanted to look at, how far off the road I needed to be, so. I appreciate you guys informing me.
So at this point, Mike, what you're asking you to do is come in with plans, go further study on what we're going to do. So
Okay.
we can meet the spread.
Okay.
We need to do that in motion vote.
Lee,
JD?
from what you read there, it sounds like it's a moot point, he doesn't need a variance. If it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter if it's,
Well, we don't know at this point. So
The
what
the
we're
application's
saying-
incomplete.
We want to look at it and make sure.
what I'm saying, Zach said it's 33 feet, so 16.5 foot of center. You said that the right of way, there, the setback was 35 feet from the ultimate right of way, right? You know what you read?
When the lot level is below the Main Street grade, the setback,
What is that you're reading there?
this is the Donegal code, 110-22 building lines.
Okay. So if it's, didn't you say it's 35 feet or not? What,
Well,
It's
you
like-
gotta read what it says first.
okay.
Except when the lot level is below the minimum street grade, the setback line may be a minimum of 35 feet. So if it's below the grade, then it can just be 35 feet. If it's level with it, they're saying it has to be 50 foot. Well, the way I'm reading it. So I say we need to find out. We just got this today, so we haven't had a chance to look at it and figure out what is right and what is wrong. So we'd like the opportunity to do that as well as he get a chance to put on.
I heard you say 35, he's saying he's 38, so.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the 35 is coming
Lee, historically, every request for variance in Donegal Township has been granted if they built a new building in line with the old building, and don't encroach any closer to the right of way. Every case has been granted. All you gotta do is drive up 40 and we go past extreme cycle outlet. You
Well,
can see one of the newest examples of it.
from. Well, that's what we want to avoid is what
I
happens.
understand. I'm just saying though, everyone that ever came before the Board of Supervisors has been approved. Started with the Sacred Heart Church in Claysville many, many years ago. That was the first one. With the ditch on the back. So, there's a guideline. Kathy can tell you that, Rick can tell you that.
Yeah, if you come down the street, like, my neighbor's houses are all closer to the road than mine. Mine actually sits back further than the others, so it's not like I'm putting a new structure closer to the road that's gonna impede, and, I mean, it's a structure in the township you'll tax me on, and I think it's a win, so.
We'll make it work, Mike.
All right.
Let him do it.
So we're good? We need to make a motion or vote on?
I mean, there's not a complete application in front of you.
Yeah. So until we get the application.
Okay.
Okay. That brings us to 3, approval of the Planning Commission annual report to the Board of Supervisors as required by the Code of Conneaut Township, Chapter 75, 75-3. And I think that Jerry has done an excellent job of putting this together. It's precise, it's easy to read. Has everybody had a chance to look through it? Any questions? I have a motion to accept it as is. I have a second.
A second.
Any further discussion? Okay, how do you vote? Tony? Yes?
Yes.
Oops, there's a mistake right there. Kathy?
Yes.
Jerry's not here. Mixed up. Something got screwed up there. Oops, that's a typo. Okay. Kathy, yes. Me, yes. Bob? Yes. Thank you, and Jerry. Motion passed. Okay, with regard to the code of, Township of Knoxville, Chapter 75, Planning Commission, 75.5, duties regarding zoning. Michael, would you like to make a presentation of the Planning Commission's draft of 2017?
Sure. I guess we'll pick up off of where we went from last month's meeting. We went through the entire draft ordinance, made different comments, questions. I then went through as best I could with those comments and made the changes that were agreed upon, flagged some of the stuff that we were still not 100% sure on that we wanted to think about. I know there are a couple other things, one of them being the definition section that has been updated, but I wanted to get it out so that everyone had plenty of time to look at it, and that wasn't a major change. So I guess my thought would be we could do it the same as we did last time, is kind of go through the sections, and when we come across something that someone has a comment or we need to address, we can go through that. There shouldn't be as many as last time, but if that's the easiest way, we could just go through and address the changes or the questions that are still outstanding for the planning commission to review.
Any problem with that? No problem.
And we'll be going off of draft 2/1/17. There's copies of them here.
Anybody else like a copy? We have a few more.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go forward, but if someone has something before that, please let me know. I'm gonna go to page 4. And I saw the email. Yeah, we just, again, are we okay with the names, first of all? Do we have names that we wanna call the the now 3 zones, because we eliminated the 1 zone. Does anyone have an issue with agricultural, village, and mixed use for the 3 different zoning names? Is that acceptable?
Yes.
If that's the case, then B, obviously, and C, where it says Zone 3, obviously that'll now be changed. And obviously on C, where it says Zone 4, that'll be changed. Right here, if you notice, so we used to have 4 zones, obviously, now we're down to 3, but now just the definition section of it, now that we are confirming it's gonna be 2 and 3, that'll be changed.
Got it.
That's the only thing in that section, then we get to the mixed, or.
Do we, on page 4, do we need the infrastructure service overlay?
No, I guess we're eliminating that totally as well, correct? That was deleted prior to even last month's meeting. Yeah, okay, so
A while ago.
Yeah, that was way back.
Well, the big one, then they made it smaller.
Okay. So we'll eliminate B, so B will get changed, C will get changed just on the numbers, and then D will be eliminated completely.
And he will become the.
Correct. Then we'll move on to the table 1 on page 5. We obviously eliminated one of the zones, so now there are only 3 zones. The one thing we changed, I have it highlighted for ease of use. Number 9, certified water storage facilities will now be conditional uses moving forward in the Zone 1 and Zone 3. They will not be permitted in the village district. And certified MLVTs will be a conditional use in the Zone 3 now. Does anyone have any questions on that on page 5?
So the new water tank system, the new water tank going in on Grimes Road, then that property doesn't need to be changed in the zoning, or how does that work?
Where it's
Since
currently
prior,
located?
yeah. Well, where they're locating it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, you guys would know that better. Is that a Zone 1 or 3?
I believe it's a 1.
Or 1? So
It's agriculture.
that does not need to be.
Okay, so we're not gonna, we don't need to
Yeah,
change any of that.
It's gonna be consistent with what
Okay.
that would be.